Futures right now pointing toward a potential sixth straight day of losses for the Dow, the S&P 500 due to worries over the rapid spread of coronavirus. And this morning, the Dow will open up 317 points down. Market concerns rising now over the impact of coronavirus. And we want you to know whether or not you should be worried when it comes to your money, especially when you talk about your 401k.
So we brought in an expert and a friend of ours, financial professional Charlie Bowers of Insight Folios, joining us now to talk a little planning for market uncertainty. Charlie, always a pleasure to have you in, my friend.
Good to be here.
All right, so whether you are nervous about coronavirus or you feel like it's going to affect us or not, the facts are pretty much there with the stock market. I mean, we saw what happened. So what do you do if you've got money in the stock market?
Well, it's like this is not unusual. Health stories like this, especially when they affect multiple regions around the world, you have this type of reaction. It's not necessarily unnatural for the market to move around like this. The market's very emotional, and, you know, it doesn't even have to be something like this. In early 2018, just worries over inflation and interest rates, the market moved. Brexit, the China-U.S. trade were concerns. It just moves relative to that.
The move's not unusual, maybe, but what about to this extent? Are the numbers that we're seeing, is that anything, does that concern you? Does it surprise you at all in terms of the level of volatility?
No, that's just the way it is, you know. And with this one, the virus, what's the first industry that's going to hit it? It seems like it's travel related. You know, so people aren't booking vacations, not booking airlines. I flew from Austin last week, and I got to tell you, I was concerned someone might be on that plane that was carrying the virus. So if you're not booking vacations, tourism declines, and it kind of has a domino effect on all of the other related businesses with tourism. And so, you know, that can startle financial markets, and that's kind of what we're seeing right now.
All right, and so what do you recommend to people that, whether they have a lot of money in the game or whether they're just sort of starting out in the stock market, just to kind of play it safe, don't do anything, let this ride, or do you suggest moving things around?
It's a little bit different. Retirement planning is a long-term strategy, so you don't want to overreact to these short-term events right here, right? And so it's really important that, you know, corrections happen. And you just want to make sure you have a plan that will allow you to not worry so much when corrections do happen, because they're going to happen. You know, do you have strategies to protect your income? That's key. Do you have a plan so that when you do have to make a decision, you make good decisions and not based solely on emotion, because this is a very emotional time with the market moving.
We ran a story earlier this morning talking about some industries that are actually seeing spikes in sales and interest because of the coronavirus. Peloton was one. You know, it's an in-home. Did you see that? Yeah, because you can be at your house. Exactly. So for people who maybe want to kind of take advantage of something like this, is that something that you'd recommend at all? Keeping an eye on that type of thing?
You're playing with your emotions again, trying to time the market, trying to time certain companies, certain industries, like Peloton. You know, I'm really good after the fact. My 2020 hindsight is excellent. So you really don't want to play a game with trying to time the market, even in events like this. It's a long-term strategy.
All right, Charlie, good information. And, you know, if you don't know, or if you're new to the game and you're just unsure, don't react like you said, and hire a professional. Get advice. That's kind of the best thing for me.